Okay, hello everyone. Let me just check everything's working here. Switch to the webcam. Hello. Got the mic on. I got the live chat up here on my phone, and I've got slow burn 100. Nice to see you, man. Can we all hear me loud and clear, guys? Before I start, I've got a bit of a presentation for you guys today. I know it's been a while since I've done a live stream. I just took a bit of a break. I've actually been doing a lot of work for my company, and I've been busy doing a lot of stuff for clients, so I've not been able to pump out as many videos as I normally would have. But I did release one recently, which I believe you guys have been commenting on and liking, which is great. Titled "Everything Is Ruined," and even that video, I wasn't really sure what I was making a video about. It kind of just molded itself into what it was, and it became a message about the basics of conspiracy research. The basic message that you need to keep yourself grounded if you're going to look into this stuff, because it can get pretty dark pretty quickly, and it's easy to lose yourself in it all and lose sight of what's really important in life. And the message which I've been preaching since I started this channel, that's what this channel was always about not only understanding all the theories and the ideas out there in the conspiracy realm, but also with the truth therapy sessions which are in now, to understand how to deal with the information as well. Something I think a lot of people look over. And again, I made the video and it really resonated with people, and I've had some amazing responses. And I think I just want to go through some of these responses to begin with, just to ease ourselves into this video, just so others out there can see and hear what other researchers in this world are thinking and feeling while looking into this stuff. So my video itself was just a rant. It was scripted, but it was basically a recap of my recent holiday. Now, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, every moment of my life, I am thinking about this stuff, and I am looking at the world around me and interpreting it through the lens of a conspiracy theorist. And for lack of a better term, a truther, or whatever you want to label it, it doesn't matter. And I found myself doing this on a holiday in a foreign country, and I found myself looking at all these gorgeous buildings around me in France and thinking, wow, did we really build these? Or was it perhaps an advanced civilization in the past? And you can't help but just think these things once looking into it and actually seeing them up close. But I'm not here to say one way or the other whether that is the case, but I found myself losing myself in this stuff rather than just enjoying the holiday sometimes. But then I very quickly, snapped myself out of it and got back into the moment and just had a good time. And I think that's, when I made the video, it was me showing you some images of things I saw and the thought processes I had. And again, a lot of people were explaining to me that they too felt they also have similar experiences in day-to-day life. So like I said, we'll go through some comments. Just let me get the video up here quickly for you guys, just so I can get the comment section up first. We'll let some people roll in. Let's just check the chat here while I'm doing this, see who we've got. We've got Space Mermaid, good to see you. We got Dark Heart Sojourn, nice to see you, loud and clear. Thank you for letting me know. We got Mike Toe Cutter. I really relate to that video. Same. Brilliant. Yeah. So we've got 23 people here now. It's a good number. Let's just see what I can get loaded up here. Things go very slow for me on the internet once I start live streaming, unfortunately. So it might take me a minute just to get this page up, but I have preloaded all my other tabs for this presentation I'm going to give you soon about the clown stuff. Because as always, you can't look into one single thread about the clown subject without it just spiraling down another rabbit hole every time. And today I was just going to show you guys some basic stuff about the clown research, but then I discovered something new randomly, and now I have a whole new topic I want to discuss within the realm, another connecting demons to clowns, and the reptilian aspects as well. And I just seem to be constantly accidentally stumbling on new connections with this theory. And I'm enjoying every second of it. It's good fun, but something interesting to share with you guys tonight. A clue's already in the title of this video. Alright, so I'll just get the comments section up here. And let's see what people have said about my recent video. Sorry guys, it's just going very slow right now. Here we go. Right. So I'm going to flip the screen. I'm not sure if I've even done that already. Let's have a look. Okay, so I've flipped the screen. Let's bring this up. And I don't want held for review comments. I want published comments. Here we go. Okay, so we'll go through some of the top comments on this recent video I posted. Everything is ruined. So the first one here is from Katrina. And she said, I literally just told this to my dad this morning. When I realised the truth of our reality, a whole bunch of my existential anxieties just went away. And I think what she's saying there is, she herself discovered that, God is real, not just the devil and that these people worship him, but also the other side is real too. And once you realise that that is a real situation, it can very quickly put things into perspective and in a more positive light. It gives you hope. I think she's expressing here that she also felt the same. There's nothing to worry about. Everything will be fine, said this person in response. And that's exactly the point I wanted to give my video. I've been there. I've been through the fear stage of learning the truth at the very beginning. You just want to shake everybody around you, slap them across the face, scream at them, don't you see, don't you see, why don't you see? And they don't want to hear it. You look crazy and sound crazy. You get dejected quite easily and rejected. And, it brings you down. But there is a way to handle this information. There's a way to present yourself, that can make it easier. And that's something I've discussed at infinitum on this channel. So, something you said in this resonated with me, said Jaden. I hated that my loved ones couldn't see it. It's immensely frustrating to try to get someone to break through all the years of psychological conditioning. And yeah, exactly, that was my point I was just making, You do go through this stage when you first learn this stuff, that you just hate that people around you can't see it, and you call them sheeple or some other derogatory term, and it's easy to start to have negative feelings towards those who don't see what you see, and that's just not the way to be, Not everybody is going to understand this stuff, not everybody's going to want to know this stuff, and that's okay. It's not your job to save everybody. I think we have to remember that. It's just your job to do the best you can to learn this stuff for yourself. And if others are open to hearing it, great. But it's okay if they're not, and you shouldn't force it on them, because I learned a long time ago, you will drive yourself crazy trying to do that. If they want to know, they will know. Someone else here said, only when they decide to notice, it's hard to persuade people away from their foundations. Exactly. Exactly. So very timely and grounded. Again, that's what I was going for, grounded. This person says, well said, gives me hope for the generation being raised now, who are starting off with the understanding it took us decades to reach. I mean, that's true. I mean, I've been doing this for just over a decade myself. And, I built my channel off the information of people that have been doing work a lot longer than me as well. And I think we've pretty much sussed what's going on. I think if you do enough research into this stuff, the years of research everyone's compiled together, you can very quickly put together a good image of what the truth is if you're sincerely looking and being open to all possibilities, I think the work's been done, the truth can be known, it's just up to people to take the step to actually bother to look at the information now. We're always discovering new things, of course, but I think now we're only really refining the overall image. I think we've pretty much sussed out what the plan is, where it's going, and what the end goals are. I know I'm being vague now, but again, if you want to know, you can go find out. And I think most people listening right now already understand what I'm talking about. Um, we have another here. Your words are exactly matching my thoughts every day. When my eyes were opened about the world and all the lies they have fed us, and still doing it, I'm so glad to know that our Creator is real, and also being aware of the enemy and its trickeries in this time. And this seems to be the regular message I get quite a lot, when I put out my videos, I'm trying to express that I understand what truthers are going through, because I've been there myself, and I think I'm happy to know that it's working. I think most of us, it can get lonely in this culture. You can start to feel quite alone, like nobody's really listening to you in your personal life. And I think it's good for us to have outlets like this where we can, I'm not trying to create a cult here or a church. I suppose it could be that if you want to consider it, but that's not what I'm going for. It's more just a place to feel like you're not alone for a short time. And to be around people who understand what you're going through. I think we all need that sometimes, so that we can go back to our normal everyday life. We all have to work, we all have to put on some kind of facade, shall we call it, just to get through life and survive, and be with normal everyday people and work and feed your family and yourself, things you've got to do. And as isolating as that can be, I think it's healthy we have this, and I'm glad it's working for you guys. So this person says here, it's so important to know once you wake up, things are not hopeless. Although they would have you believe otherwise. Waking up and seeing what's really been going on is part of the journey and means we're making progress. It's hard sometimes, and I have been struggling, and maybe it is a sign I need to step back and evaluate things. We all need to take a step back sometimes and just understand that what you're doing is sitting at a computer screen looking at stuff. At the end of the day, I know we're looking at important information, and it is very important. That's what you're actually doing, and there are other things you need to be doing in life. You need to be making your life a life worth living. And if you sit there staring at a screen too long, dwelling on all the negative, you'll miss it. You'll miss your chance. And we all need to step back sometimes and ground ourselves. What else have we got here? So this person here is kind of reiterating my point. It's many conspiracy theorists who start out end up realizing God is indeed real. Thank God for sending his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to take on our sins, even though he was sinless. What an amazing thing. What an absolute act of love. Our Father loves us very much. He is the truth, the way, and the life. Everything ends up pointing to him when we search for truth. Spread the good news. And I try to do that at the end of most of my videos. I bring it full circle to, at the end of the day, this is all really just about God, his Son, and what he did for us. And the enemy's just trying to, they can't undo what he's done. It's done, but they're certainly trying to confuse us as much as they can before their time comes, and bring us down to their level in a way. So that's a beautiful message there from Carrie Ann, and I appreciate that one. But yeah, this opening statement there, many conspiracy theorists, myself included, you come into researching conspiracy theories and you don't start off thinking you're going to end up becoming a Christian. That's not where you end up, That's not where you began thinking you would end up. I started as a New Age hippie type Taoist thinker, psychedelic thought thinker, which is quite where a lot of you guys have come from, to be honest. I also had the whole science and logic and psychology thing in my head, like I can understand these people, let's figure out why these people believe all these crazy things, and as I did the research, I realised, oh, wait a minute, these people aren't crazy, this stuff is actually real. And then as you go on and on and on, you start to realise, oh, wait a minute, God is real. Oh snap. And you end up, you always end up there in the end. All roads lead to him. Not Rome, him. So what's this person's story here, for example, by Tommy John? That's what happened to me. Started off watching alien conspiracies, which led me to Zeitgeist 1, 2, 3, then nothing for a few years. Then I went down the alien rabbit hole again, and after several years, you realise all conspiracy is a distraction for truthers to spin your wheels. You don't need to figure out every event. It's all fake one way or another, so why waste your time? They are distractions, and God is real. At first, this scared me because of what it meant for me and my sins. Then I realised that I always knew, and I was always a little off, asking too many questions. Sorry to rant, God bless you all. Exactly, so this is what happens, I remember Zeitgeist, I remember watching that in my early days, and I was convinced for a short period of time that, all the ancient gods were just rip-offs, were the originals to Jesus, and Jesus is just a rip-off of all these pagan sun gods, and then when you actually look into it, it's like that's just absolute nonsense and a complete lie, just made up in that film called Zeitgeist. But a lot of people wouldn't bother to go any further than that film and think it's true, Everything is just to smear the image of Jesus, it seems. And you start to see that pattern emerging the more you research these things. And like I said, I can't give you hard evidence now off the top of my head, but it's the truth, and it's where it ends up every time, So Desert Trance, regular subscriber here, commenter. He's been subscribed for 6 years, as you can see. Beautiful work, so happy for you. I relate on many levels. Talking about KJ Osborne, KJ's channel, someone I was listening to when I first started. He was a real impact for me. He really got me, onto the whole God could be real type of roots in the beginning. I actually was on his radio show during the early days of my channel. Rigged Reality Radio, I think it was called. And I like KJ. He's a cool guy, and he presents the information in such a calm way, which is relatable to people. And through his example, I've kind of tried to mold my channel to be something similar. You need to present this information with a cool level head. You need to come across as a normal person, so everyday normal people can see that it's not crazy to talk or think about these things. I made a video I've had to remove, unfortunately, because of some crazy copyright strike. But I did make a video called "You Need to Be a Good Ambassador for the Truth." You as a truther, you represent this culture. You're a fractaled part of it now, and how you present yourself as somebody who knows this stuff reflects on all of us. So if you, to coin a stereotype, come out with the tinfoil hat, all guns blazing, pinning things to boards and tapping on them saying, "Do you see?" All the stereotype crazy looking stuff, and start screaming and shouting and ranting and raving, then you're not representing us very well to those who don't know, and they're not going to want to know the information. It's a sad truth, but something I learned in sales is people don't buy products. They buy the person selling the product. It's just the truth. You have to deal with that. It's a sad truth that people are so shallow, but that's just the way it is. So you really need to think about how you tell people this stuff. How do you look to this person? Because if you look crazy, that person isn't going to want to know the information because they don't want to end up looking crazy themselves. It's a defense mechanism. They'll shut down. And I'm sure we've all experienced it. I'm not here to say I'm perfect. We've all done it. But we need to be more aware of it. As this person here says, so glad to hear I'm not the only one annoying my family. Again, I think we can all relate to that. This person gives some good advice. After 20 plus years of researching the New World Order, my advice is to go hug your family, make people laugh or smile. That person who did you wrong in the past, forgive them, let it go, and find the answer to the most important question. Who am I? Those who look outside dream, those who look within awaken. So yeah, I think that's a good little recap of some of the comments. Again, this video did really well. it's probably one of the highest performing videos I've released in a while, and I'm surprising really because I don't say much in it. I don't teach any new information or any new conspiracies. It's kind of just more of a personal heart to heart, and I throw a bit of humor in there, and a bit of personal viewpoints in there. But it's interesting that you guys responded so well to it. I think it says a lot about what we all really want in this culture. I think we want more connection, which is perfectly human and normal, and it's good. So I'm just going to switch back now to the camera. Hello. I'm going to check the chat, see what we've got, see what you guys are saying, and then I've got a presentation for you about the clowns. Just a few things, maybe last about 20 minutes. So these two things do tend to take a life of their own and go on for longer than that. And then I have a few announcements, a few things I want to say to you guys, a few things I want to bring to your attention, other channels, other people who I think need our prayers. And then I'll just open the chat up to you guys for a bit and we'll have a talk, yeah. So let's just get the chat up here. It doesn't want to load for me, of course. Right, lovely. So, Humble Stranger, good to see you. Modern architecture is tragic. Tell me about it. I am not a fan of the brutalist stuff that's around us and this postmodern stuff as well. Jesus Christ. I'm not to put say his name in vain, but wow. The architecture is getting bad, isn't it? Like, really bad. Hi everyone, greetings from Black Forest. Love your videos about Nephilim and a clown, thank you. Cat, problematic post. Has a little spiral-eyed face there, I don't know what that means. Hi, I caught you live. Thanks for all your research, UC, says Dino. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm way past that stage, says Mark II Technologies. Brilliant. Completely understand, says Mike Toecutter. More Winnie 2.0. Advert should get cancel cultured. I don't know what that means, but fair enough. Rose Garcia, good to see you. I'm here joining you all from Southern California. Rose, one of the posts you shared with me actually gets mentioned in this this show in about 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. So I'll thank you now for that post, but you'll be coming up on my screen soon. Mark II Technologies, I don't try to wake anyone anymore. Yeah, I think I've got to that point. I seem to do enough for people with this channel. This is my way of helping. In my personal life, I don't bring it up. I try to avoid it, in fact, because it's done me no favours in the past, trying to get the immediate people around me to wake up. But I seem to be able to help in this way. That isn't too detrimental to my own personal life. I think you'll all kind of find your own understanding with that as you go through learning this stuff. Sheep and Goat, says Humble Stranger. Good observance, Jeremy. Cloyne, Clown. Yeah. Well, Cloyne, as I will get into, is actually a fictional demon from a film called Clown from 2014. It's not actually a real thing. I've looked into it. It's not based on any particular mythos. Apparently, it's based off Krampus, which is a German or Scandinavian kind of made-up demon to scare children. But it all has its roots in the same thing, of course. I've lost many friends trying to explain this stuff to them. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes maybe it's just not worth it. Let's get a quick drink here. Barkley Allsop, I love your work, brother in Christ. Thank you. Jeremy, thank you. Just kind of popped out. The truth will set you free. Jesus is truth. Why or die? No. The Bible says, if you are his, that you are a peculiar people. A people for God's, Yah's own possession. Not like the rest of the world. 1 Peter 2:9. Exactly. Instead of political rallies, prayer groups, then we get some results. I'm working on that. Cheers. Just relatable. Alright, I think I'm all caught up with the chat there. Hello, buddy, from RU. Is that Russia? Did you hear something about Mycocephalos, human rats? It's like lycanthropy, but rats. No, I've not heard about human rats yet. But it does sound interesting. Mugs and shirts, yo. Yeah, I know. I ordered one from Teespring. I started a Teespring store. I thought, let's see if these are actually any good. And I did get the premium tee. And you know what? It's okay. White's not my colour. It doesn't go with the whole ginger thing. But the fit's actually quite nice. I'm quite surprised how well it fits, to be honest. I thought it would be too big on me. And yeah, I got a mug as well. I've always wanted a mug with my logo on it. So here it is. Understanding conspiracy. And I thought it'd just be good for the live streams. A bit of fun. If you guys want some merch, check out the link in the description. I am not allowed, apparently, to have my merch just come up under my video like a lot of other channels are. I don't have that privilege. Apparently, too many of my videos have been striked and redlined for ad suitability, and I just don't have that tab option. It's just been removed from me. I never even knew it would have been an option until I looked into this, and it turns out I've never been allowed to do it. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. I have too many videos that are in the orange and in the red, we'll say. But the links are always there, and I can always just shill my own stuff in these talks instead, I suppose. But yeah, guys. Right, so I'm more caught up with the chat there. I'm going to switch the screen back now. And we're going to get into this little presentation I have here. I hope you enjoy it. And this is me just meandering through my thought processes and how I got from one thing to another. I haven't actually made a video about this for the clown series I have. I think I'm on episode 21 now, or it would be episode 21. But the information you see in these live streams may end up in its own mini 12-minute video for the Nephilim Look Like Clown series I have. So let's switch the screen here and let's get into it. So I'll start from the beginning. I'll just close this to try and save a bit of bandwidth. And right, so it started with somebody sending me an email. So it was at the speed of shadow. This guy's been working with AI. I'm not going to read all this now, but he's basically been messing around with AI for a while. And after about 100 images or so in the past couple of weeks, the first two I had contained this glitch involving Joe Biden. Joe Biden, you know, is said to be all sorts of terrible things, and clearly one of them. And he got these results that showed this pattern on the face, this black and white fractaled pattern. And here's another one. And he says these were the only two that came up with this. The rest didn't. And it's almost like you're looking at the underlayer of the 3D generated image, you know, and it's just a bit where the algorithm or the AI just couldn't fill it in. So it came up with this placeholder imagery instead. And we've seen this before, you know, and it's something I've actually mentioned in my very first video about the Nephilim Looking Like Clowns Part 1. So what we talk about is, you know, clowns are often depicted wearing checkered clothing and black and white clothing. And there was this phenomena called liquid crystal polarization. And I'll just play it here. It might be a bit choppy because of the live stream, but you watch these old videos, very old analog type videos, and this phenomena would happen, which you can probably see popping up on screen in a juttery way now. This black and white pattern would appear, and a lot of people have said this is the demonic manifesting in the footage, you know. Now I don't know about that. Yeah, it's just cut out for me there. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. People would say this look like a tail and a leg, but you get this black and white fractaled image happening, and then all of a sudden, as quickly as it appears, it just disappears and pops away. And, you know, I remember people recently in the comments explained to me how, you know, the very first form of night vision, I think it was red originally, not green as we understand it to be, but people who first used the very first night vision goggles were seeing monsters as well, and they had to change it. And it does seem like this fractaled liquid pattern is a common motif. And obviously, we understood that the Nephilim, in their disembodied form, seem to manifest into our physical reality with this black and white pattern. Or at least that's what I'm theorizing. Whenever they manifest physically from the spiritual, their interference pattern looks black and white. And I think that's why they're revered when people dress as a clown in black and white patterns. I think that's why the Heyoka tribes have their black and white stripes. I think that the connection's there. But that was very liquid crystal polarization effect on these Biden images. It's the same thing. And this has already been linked to the jesters and the clowns quite a lot. And I mentioned it obviously 6 years ago in that first video I ever made, and people seem to really be rolling with it right now. I think Understanding Conspiracies mentioned it, so I think it's rattling around people's minds. So yeah, that was an interesting one. So I thought that's worth just talking about from emails. And look at this Jester Joker wide grin smile they decided to give Biden here, the AI. It's very, very creepy, isn't it? Very creepy. Anyway, so that's something interesting. I thought I'd just start off with something easygoing. And then something else I saw, this is, again, a bit of a meandering thought, but I found this thing called Poppy the Performer. And this one's creepy because this was a show made in Japan for the Kids channel. So Poppy the Performer is a series of 3D computer-generated shorts produced for Kids Station, one of the all-anime satellite stations in Japan. And it went on for 3 seasons. And this, honestly, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. It's like a fever dream from start to finish. It is terrifying. It's that uncanny valley type of CGI. But the main character is this character called Poppy the Performer. And Poppy the Performer has 3 fingers on each foot and hand. He's not like a human. It's like a human-animal hybrid. Like a human-rabbit hybrid. He has this pale skin. He's blonde with blue eyes. And he has this checkered, fractaled, red and white lined clothing. But he has his sidekick who's basically a wolf who wears this white mask. And his emotions appear on the mask as he communicates with subtitles. And these two basically, in itchy and scratchy style comedy, brutalize each other in bloody, horrific ways. And this was meant for kids, It's messed up, but look at this. This was made a long time ago. In Japan. Yeah, so dark stuff. And I recommend you look into it. I can't really play it here for you guys, but yeah, some sus stuff going on here. And, we've got this circus clown character committing brutal acts for children, who's a hybrid, half human, half animal hybrid type character like the Nephilim were, with an animalistic partner as well. It's just I thought it was worthy just an honourable mention to throw into the Nephilim clown link. His father is a character called Pappy, and he is a sun god of some kind. So here he is next to him. He's a jester who has a head like the sun, blazing fire. So he's his father, a fallen angel, and he is a half-human, half-angel, weird animalistic hybrid. Who knows if that's what they were going for when they made this, or if this was just the spiritual manifesting physical in ignorance. But the subject matter of these cartoons implies something malevolent was going on, because they are twisted and bloody and gory and dark and terrifying, and I would not let my child watch this. Let's put it that way. But it was made for kids. So there's an honourable mention, something to add onto the pile. But then I was looking at this, and I thought, I should probably look more into and talk more about in my future videos the clown in films, because there's quite a lot over the past 10 years where clowns have just been appearing in films a lot, And one of them recently is the film called Smile, and I think, I haven't watched it, but I get the gist that these people get possessed or cursed by a demon, the smile demon, where they become hysterical and maniacal and insane and start killing people with this giant smile on their face before brutalizing themselves. I think here she's peeling her own lips back or something. Yeah, cutting their own mouth wider. But whenever this demon actually manifests in front of them, he's got this huge wide grin. Not very clown-like or jester-like in any way, shape or form, but one thing I did think was worth noting is it is a giant. So here in this snapshot, it's a lot taller than your average human, with a big wide grin. So a very subtle actual reference to clowns and jesters here. But I think it's worth mentioning, the demons were giants of the day when they had a physical form. Before they were demons, as we know them, they were kings and rulers and giants, men of renown. And here we have a giant in the Smile movie. And then from movies, I looked into a movie called Clown from 2014. And this follows a man who basically, from what I've gathered from reading about the story, is he found an old clown costume which he needed in a rush to surprise his child's birthday or something like that. So he puts on this clown costume and is the clown for his child's birthday. But then he finds he can't take it off. Everything's stuck on him. It's fused to his skin. It's become his skin. It's grafted to him. And he basically discovers that he is wearing the skin of a demon. And this demon, once you put the skin on, takes a hold of you and won't let you go until you feed and eat 5 children. That's basically the whole film, and this person has to end up eating 5 children before he gets beheaded at the end in true Medusa fashion, Speaking of Gorgons from the last video. And this demon was called the Cloyne in Scandinavian culture. And we have this fake artwork, which is made to look as though it was made centuries ago, but really it's all just made for this film. It's fictional. It's not a real being. Apparently, like I said earlier, it was based on Krampus, according to the producer. But this monster, this demon, has this horn on its forehead, fractaled, crazy patterned skin like a serpent, and it has this frill around the neck. And I think it's trying to make out that it's the skin of the mask, hanging over his shoulders. But I thought about this thing around the neck, and it looks quite fleshy here. It looks like it has spines running through it, like you see in reptile bat wings, for example. And I realise, clowns do often get depicted wearing these frills. So if I can just find... There we go. Yeah, this is a common motif of the clown, and I've never considered why until recently. Why do clowns, in the modern artistic rendition over the past 100 years or so, why are they often shown with this ruffle, this rough, this thing around the neck? Why? What does that donate? Because it seems like everything about the clown is a symbol for something to do with the Nephilim. Okay, so I'll quickly reel off a few now. I don't have examples for images, but clowns often wear big shoes because they represent giants, who I assume had very big feet. Clowns are often depicted using stilts, which makes them look very tall because they represent the Nephilim, who are giants. Clowns often are depicted with big gloves because giants had very large hands, and they are based on the giants of the past. Clowns often have this large forehead motif going on, and have the really high brow ridges to depict this because the Nephilim said to have elongated skulls. And I think that's what they're trying to represent with the makeup there. They're often represented with crosses in the eyes, like this one. I think that represents the reptilian slit of the pupil of a reptile, because the Nephilim was said to be half angel, half human. And I think many of the angels had reptilian features. They were described as feathered serpents, fiery serpents, with serpentine features. The big wide red lips, I think, represents that they were cannibalistic and fed on blood, but also they have serpentine wide smiles because a serpent can open its jaw incredibly wide, and I think these things having serpentine features also had wide jaws and extra sets of teeth to fill that space. What else about the clown? The clown often has wild red hair, and it's said that, the Nephilim, as described throughout history, by Native American tribes, and also if you want to go down the Afghanistan giant thing, pale white skin, red hair, and that's a common motif of the clown because they're representing the Nephilim. What else off the top of my head? They're always seen wearing psychedelic fractaled clothing. I think that's because clowns represent reptilian giants, and reptiles are known to have quite psychedelic skin full of funky patterns, and I think that's what they were representing. You get in the gist. So what about the frill? What's this about? What's this ruff around the neck? Why was it a large fashion thing during the mid-16th to mid-17th century, and then it suddenly just died out? I think the most famous example we have, of course, is Queen Elizabeth. We can't forget her. She's often depicted with this huge, round frill around her neck and this ruff. What is this? Why? Why wear something like this? Now, if royalty do believe that they are descendants of ancient royalty and have the divine right to rule, and the ancient rulers were these Nephilim at one point, and I'll never mind the fact she had red hair and very pale skin, using the Venetian ceruse foundation to make herself look incredibly white. Perhaps she was trying to emulate her gods, the fallen demons of the Nephilim, the Nephilim spirits. And this ruff, synonymous with the clown, who also represents the Nephilim. So what's going on here, guys? Well, I think it has something to do with the nature of reptiles. And I remembered a scene from Jurassic Park. Do you remember when that tiny little dinosaur, who seemed pretty harmless at first, he fell over and one was in front of him and it opened up this thing? And these do exist. Little lizards do this. Reptiles do this. It seems to be a common, in some reptiles, it seems to be a thing that happens. They have these frills, they're called. And I think that's why the clown frill exists. I think that's what it's supposed to represent. I think some of these Nephilim, maybe not all, I can't say all, but maybe some of them had this reptilian frill. Truly terrifying creatures, along with the big wide open mouth full of teeth like this thing here, a very wide grin reptilian. They also had this frill around the neck, which made them look extremely fearsome, just like we see reptiles having now today. I think I've inadvertently today by accident discovered this again. It's just another connection I think we're going to have to make. And just to strengthen this whole, the fallen angels had reptilian features thing. It was Rose Garcia. What is that the name again? Let's get the chat. It was her, as I mentioned earlier, who sent me this information about the Testament of Amran discovered with the Dead Sea Scrolls in, I think, 1948. And it's very short. It's literally 4 pages, I think. Yeah, there's nothing here. And it's fractured and there's not much really in it. But this one bit does get picked out, if I could just find it. Where Amran, who is I think the father of Moses, had a vision where he was visited by 2 angels. One of them evil, one of them of darkness, and he's described as looking like a reptile. If I can just find it here. Okay, so I saw watchers in my vision, a dream vision, and behold, 2 of them argued about me and said, and then it's blank because it's missing a segment, and they were engaged in a great quarrel concerning me. I asked them, what are you, blank, thus blank, about me? They answered and said to me, we have been made masters and rule over all of the sons of men. And they said to me, which of us do you choose, blank? I raised my eyes and saw one of them. His looks were frightening, like those of a viper, and his garments were multicoloured, and he was extremely dark. And afterwards I looked, and behold, by his appearance and his face was like that of an adder, and he was covered with blank, together and over his eyes blank. This watcher, who is he? He said to me, this watcher, and his three names were Belial, Prince of Darkness, and Melchiresha, and said, my lord, what rule? And he said to me, blank, and all his paths are darkness, and all his work is darkness, and he is, I'm guessing, darkness. In darkness you see, and he rules over all darkness, and I rule over all light. So I think there was two angels, one good, one dark. But the description of these angels in this ancient text, this extra biblical text, is that they looked reptilian. So their offspring probably had reptilian features, as I've said over and over again. Some of them may have had the reptilian frill as a result, which is why we see modern day clowns often depicted with the frill. A very common motif, which is why among rich aristocracy and those who believed they had the divine right to rule when it was fashionable, while mimicking their gods, also wore the ruff and the frill. I think they were trying to emulate something as has been done throughout history forever in all cultures. Cultures who worship these things, thinking they're good or evil is irrelevant, but they try to emulate them, and they often take on, through body manipulation and fashion, features of these demons, and I think this is something similar. So there you go, guys. I thought that was interesting. Another little connection to make. So I went from the Smile film to the Clown film to seeing the ruffle around the Cloyne's neck being its skin here to making the reptilian connection of the ruff around the lizards. You know, and then remembering that in this extra biblical discovered text, it describes fallen angels as reptilian in nature. And clowns often get depicted with this ruffle as well. Yeah, so I think that's a very worthy addition to the research. I may make an actual succinct video about it for the Nephilim Look Like Clown series. But here, you guys who are here with me now, you just got a little sneak peek of some of my recent dives into this subject. And this is the thing, I don't start off with these dives thinking I'm going to find anything. The connections just come flying at me, you know, and the dots connect themselves with this theory. It's you know, and all glory to him for showing me, I suppose, because I don't feel like I don't feel like I've done much of the work here. It feels like all the work just comes to me. It's yeah, but this is obviously a speculative conspiracy theory, as we call it, and we can have a lot of fun with this. Hard evidence and proof, I don't know, but there's certainly a lot of undeniable connections here, isn't there, guys? And I hope you enjoyed that one. So this is a bit of fun. I decided to look into medieval depictions in artwork of demons, because there's something about the way they were stylized during this time period which is bizarre to me. You know, they're often depicted as numerous body parts which are alive or connected to each other. So in this demon, for example, its whole torso, its arms are connected to an animal on each shoulder, and then the elbows are also an individual animal eating an arm, and its knees are also an individual animal with eyes, with legs coming out of the mouth, and its bottom half seems to have its own head, feature, and personality, and its top half also seems to have its own head, feature, and personality, and it seems to be a really common motif when depicting most of these demons. Like this one here, for example, you know, its body has eyes and a mouth and a nose and everything, as well as its head. This one, for example, here, you know, it's behind is a face, you know, with horns and ears, as well as its head being the same thing. What else have we got? And these wild depictions of these demons from this medieval period, you know, the Dark Ages, as we can call them, are just wild, absolutely wild. And I do wonder if our timeline's off, or if we've been deceived about where exactly we are in the timeline, or if our history is a lie. I wonder if these things were walking around with men at the time, not that long ago. And it wasn't that long ago, you know, that demons were physically wiped out and turned into spirit beings. I don't know. I don't actually know, but there just seems to be a lot of very specific depictions of them. I mean, this individual here, seems to have some kind of superpower, flames coming out of his hands. This is some kind of human who has powers. Next to this giant monster with animalistic features, reptilian-like features, you know, but multiple consciousnesses smashed into one body. Like the chest, each nipple is conscious in this one, as well as its belly. You know what I mean? It's so bizarre. It's such a bizarre way to depict them. Like, what's this supposed to represent exactly? I just find it really interesting, and I think there's a lot to these that need to be examined a bit deeper. You know, this Hindu depiction here is quite trippy as well. There was another one I found among all of these, which look quite clownish actually. See if I can just quickly find it. Let me just have a quick click around, and I'm sure it'll come back to me. This is a really famous one, but this one also has it's a face down here on its behind as well as its head. So strange. It's just so strange. So strange. No, I seem to have lost it in my ramblings. I seem to have brushed over the image I saw earlier. But one thing's for certain is demons are synonymous with reptiles, aren't they? They always seem to have some kind of reptilian feature to them. So I think it adds weight to that whole frill thing I mentioned earlier. Yeah, we have another giant demon tormenting humans with a bird head of some kind with reptilian features and some kind of hood around the neck. Yeah, so I'd recommend looking into some of these medieval monsters, because just it's oddly specific the way artists created their renditions during that time. It's very consistent as well. It's like they all agreed on one art style and just stuck to it. Or were they perhaps, drawing something from memory, something that was right there in front of them, perhaps something they were actually witnessing. I mean, look how clownish these are in colours, big wide red smiles, red horns, think of Krusty the Clown hair but red. Got furry bodies, half animal, half human, wild-eyed. Quite clownish, these ones. One thing that most demons always seem to get depicted with is very wide smiles. A very common motif. Right, so I think, yeah, there it is. I've already got it preloaded, but I think I've pretty much exhausted all the information I have for today for my presentation here. Just a few little points, some food for thought I thought I'd share with you guys. I'm going to jump back into the chat now. We'll switch the camera back over, see what you guys have to say about some of these things. Quick glimpse at this one. I've got some quite clownish features on these, red blobs on the face. Interesting. They're all looking quite like they have some kind of, everything's a joke. These guys are laughing like they all have an inside joke and they're all having fun, like a jester. Yeah, fascinating. And this one as well, I found this one from a text, the Lanacost Chronicle, and it has these demons in the artwork, and look how jester-like this one is in its stance and its nature with the bagpipes and this white skin, big grin on its face with this strange-looking jester-like hair. Yeah, I think we can make a link here with this one as well. Excellent. So I'm just going to switch this back to my webcam. I'm going to get my chat up on my phone and again see where you guys are with this. Let's make that live. And I am still waiting for it to appear here, so I've got nothing right now. In the meantime, let me just get up you won't be able to see this, but I've created a document so I don't forget to mention a few topics tonight. Right, so we covered the presentation, everything there. Yeah, so I'm not sure if she's here right now because the chat's not loading for me. But I have a long-term subscriber. She's actually a mod for this channel. Goes by the name of Kanga Kong. I won't say her name for obvious reasons, it's personal. But she's recently reached out to me while I was in France, and she actually asked me to, while I was in France, if I could get some chocolates for her. While I was there, and she said her sister was last in France and brought them back, and it was the best chocolate she's ever tasted. So I did. I found the shop that sold the chocolate she was after specifically, and I bought them. She sent me the money. I bought them for her, and when I got home, I sent them to her. So these have travelled quite a distance, from France to England and England to California. Anyway, I sent these chocolates, and about 2 weeks went by, or a week or so went by, 14 days, 12 days or so. And it told me they'd arrived, but then she told me that she was in hospital at that time. And I got a message anyway that it turns out, she'd fallen quite ill and was in hospital for a while. And when she got out of hospital and got home, the delivery driver hadn't left the box of chocolates in the safety deposit box that the complex has. Instead, he had dumped it outside of her house, the front door, in the freezing ice cold, and the chocolate was ruined. So that's a bit of a sad story to that whole thing. And there's a bit of a more salt to rub into the wound after just being quite unwell. And I know she has issues with her health quite a lot, and I just want to put this out to you guys now. She's in my prayers most of the night, but if you could also just pray for her. Offer a bit of more support, and just pray she gets well and gets through this. Like I said, she's been having a rough time of it, and I thought it'd be nice, just while we got this community here, just to keep her in your prayers and thoughts, guys, and let's do that for her. Another thing I want to also mention as well is oh, the chat's popping off there. Sorry, I've got 100 people. Another thing I want to mention as well is a channel called, I think it's Armor Up. Let me just get it up here quickly. He sent me an email and he says he wants me to come onto his show. And I listened to his, podcast, and it's actually quite easygoing and interesting to listen to. They've got quite a nice rapport going there. It's the guy who runs it's called Ron, and he has his co-host Saji, and they offer quite a nice, fun dynamic I enjoyed listening to. They only have 1,000 subscribers on the channel. It's quite a humble, small channel, and they have a small following, but I think they should have more. I think they deserve, a bit more. So if you guys listening now can, possibly, just do me this one favor. Just go into the description of this video, find Armor Up's channel link, which should be there, and just follow them. And then go onto their live shows and have a listen to their recent stuff. And just get into it, everyone starts somewhere, and these guys, obviously, they do their thing irregardless of the views, and, and I like their vibe. They've got a good vibe. I feel it. So I'd like you guys, if you could, just to show them a bit of love and support as well. That would be wonderful. So yeah, Armor Up. And Ron's reached out to me. He wants me to go on their show, actually. I think Saturday the 18th, I'm going to try and get on there and have a chat with them. Just, just talk back and forth about all things they want to talk about, and just be there, be around. If you guys could join that as well and have a listen when it's happening, I'll put the advertisements out. Let's do it. But yeah, these guys are cool. Good people. I've talked with him online a little bit. And we're going to arrange a time, because obviously the time difference is very vast for me being in England and him being in America. So it might be early in the afternoon for you guys in America, but it's going to be late for me while I'm doing the show. And that's probably how it's going to work. But yeah, Armor Up's channel. They are link in the description of my video here. Get on there, subscribe, listen to the live videos, and show them some love, guys. I would really appreciate that. And what else have we got here? No, I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to again mention, I've got my Teespring store set up. I have no idea if it's a good idea or not to have that thing, but as I've said from the start, I need this channel to be profitable in some way. And it's another revenue stream option I've opened up to, and I thought I'd give a go. So if you guys want a personalized Understanding Conspiracy t-shirt, phone case, bag, backpack, hats, mugs, I don't know, I went for everything. Jumpers, hoodies, all sorts of things. Give it a go. I'm considering maybe making some clown related content as well for it, but I don't know if people want to go around with clowns on the t-shirts. I mean, I know I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some funny phrases. I think Natasha suggested I get the Nephilimified phrase I made up somewhere on something. Maybe a t-shirt says, "Do you want to get Nephilimified? Because that's how you get Nephilimified." We're talking about transhumanism. I don't know. I'm just shooting some ideas out there. But that's the presentation. There's a few things I wanted to mention to you guys, and now I'm just going to go to the chat and see who's here, see what's going on. Let's see what you guys have to say. So the problem is with the live chat, I can only go so far back, so I guarantee I have missed a lot. And I won't be able to get it back up. So maybe if I open it on my laptop instead, I can get the full picture. So let's have a look, guys. Let's just get on here. What was that? There's the video. Sorry if the sound comes through. Let's just turn that off. Okay, that's playing. Yeah, okay, so that's playing there. I have no chat coming up yet. It's a shame, really, because I'm sure the streaming service I use had a chat option. That doesn't seem to be here anymore. No, I don't seem to have an ability to watch the chat anymore on this particular thing, which is kind of annoying, really, because it was useful when it existed. Let's open the settings, see if I can find it. Right, okay, something's loaded now on the actual YouTube. Let's have a look now. Spring Rain, just subbed, looking forward to it. Brilliant, Spring Rain, thanks for that. Remember Mermaid cartoon from Disney, Morgana? Looks like we're talking about breaking spells there. Queen Elizabeth, wow. Yes. When you actually start to look into that, it gets pretty weird. Terrifying but necessary to do. It's time. Vibes. Good to see you, Vibes. Thanks for being here. Blue Blood. Cold-blooded. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. They call themselves Blue Bloods, don't they? The royals. And I think that's another reptilian reference there as well for being cold-blooded like a reptile. Yep. Okay, so chat's going there. If you guys have any questions for me or anything at all you want me to discuss, shoot it in the chat. I'll try and cover it. A super chat's always the best way to highlight something if you really want to get it out there. Like I said, with the way this chat works for me, as I'm doing it live, it just skips whole chunks and I can't go back a certain amount, and I may miss things quite easily. So I apologise. Armour Up, looking forward to having you on, brother. Oh, Armour Up's here. He's in the chat, guys. There we go. So it's good to see you on. Again, I've got your messages. Let's just try and arrange a time. Like I said, I can do from 7 p.m. to midnight GMT time. That's my 4-hour window there where you can have me. I can't do it before because I have to look after my son, and I can't do it afterwards because I've got to get to bed because my son wakes up early. So that's basically my window. I'm doing it right now. It's currently 20 to 10 for me right now. In the evening, I'm going to go till 10 o'clock. A good hour and a half for this stream, and I'll call it a night for me, so I can enjoy the rest of my night and just relax for a bit. But yeah, good to see you, Armored Up. Let me know if you have a few moments to chat after your live. Yeah, sure, I can have a few moments. Never want to come across as a know-it-all, but I do know what I know and can't unlearn it, and love to help others and learn myself. Nice spring rain. I heard something about Earth is not globe and it's a big canyon dig carry. I don't know about that. Spelding, I don't know about that. Subbed, armor up, looking forward to your content. Sub 2. Brilliant. So you guys have done that for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm sure Ron appreciates that too. Like I said, they have a good little rapport, him and his co-host, Saji. Saji, from what I can gather, asks all the questions we're thinking. That maybe we won't. Sometimes we don't want to ask because we might feel like we seem a bit like ignorant. But he asks the questions we all want answers to, and Ron just kind of knocks him out of the park with his own knowledge on scripture and and his own style and charisma. And it's a cool back and forth. I like listening to it. I hope you guys enjoy it too. I hope you find our content interesting. Yep, good stuff. The chat's just jumped for me, and I think it may have removed a lot of stuff. Sorry, guys. Let me just quickly see if I can go back and find out what's going on here. I'll get a mug, and I'll probably get stickers from you. Stickers, yes, I will work on stickers. It's one thing I've not done because the way it does the logo is strange on stickers. But if you want maybe just this symbol, we can do that. I don't know. I need to play around with it a bit more. Let me know what you people want, and I will try my best to create that content for you in terms of merchandise. T-shirt idea from the drunk wedding photographer. You sound Nephilimified. Yeah. Yes. Like, things like that. Shoot them at me, guys. Shoot me the ideas. I'll give the people what they want with merch. It's just a side project for me, and it doesn't really cost me anything to do so. Yeah, sure. If you want a slogan of something particular with an understanding conspiracy spin, let me know. Armor up, we sure will. For 1,000 years. I noticed the other day in the Facebook emoji board that the clown emoji is right next to the Japanese demon mask emoji, right after the long-nosed one. There's no such thing as a coincidence anymore. Probably coincidental, even though I don't believe much in coincidence. Yeah. It is interesting. The long-nosed one is Tengu, I believe. I think it was Tengu. Yeah, it was in my last video. No worries, no pressure. Armor up. We'll be there to learn and enjoy. Yeah, exactly. Alex Pereira wears the same kind of riff on his head, like the lizard and clown costumes in his Amazonian tribe tradition. Okay. Crater Earth theory. Yeah, I'll look into it. When it comes to alternative cosmologies, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into one particular belief because I know that there's many out there. I just know that we've definitely been lied to about the nature of the realm we live in, but I don't fully understand its nature. And I think that's okay. For me personally. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, understanding conspiracies. I like that one. That's a good one. That's a good one for a t-shirt, definitely. Yeah. I like it. I'll have to give you some royalties for that one, I think. Look at flat pyramids in towns. They're binded with jests, especially St. Petersburg. Okay. Yeah, good one. Every time your topics are interesting, thank you for sharing. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for subbing. Right, I think I'm caught up with the chat. Shriners. Again, it's a shame I can't go that far back. It just won't load anymore for me. I've missed. If you guys have been talking, I've missed it. Something about fast and detoxes I've got here. Right. So yeah, you guys have any questions? Anything you want to say? Fire them out to me now, guys. You've got me for 20 minutes or so. I haven't really got much else to say. I haven't got any new videos lined up currently. I've been looking through actually some of my old. I have some old videos on my computer that never really made it. Um, well, one thing that's new in my life is I recently got ill about 4 days ago, violently, not vomiting type ill. Not a pleasant story, but it was a bad time for all three of us in the house. We all got ill at the same time, and I'm sure if anyone who has a small family or has had kids before knows it's not nice when everyone's ill at once in a house. But during that time when I got ill, I didn't touch my e-cigarette once. I just couldn't do it. Um, so as a result of that illness, I've quit smoking fully, and that has been a long journey, like a very long journey. I started smoking when I was 15, I think, 14, 15 years old. I'm 30 now. I stopped smoking cigarettes and switched to a vaping pen, an e-cigarette, about 7 years ago. I quit cannabis about 6 years ago. I would smoke my cannabis with a herbal mixture, not tobacco, and I would use my e-cig for the nicotine. So with that brief that year overlap where I was doing both, that's how I got around the no nicotine thing, the no tobacco thing. But I was addicted to nicotine through the e-cigarette. And I've been on that e-cigarette now and nothing else. Just that was my last vice that I just couldn't get off. But I had been lowering the strength of my own mix every few months, and there was practically nothing in the mix I made. There was very trace amounts of nicotine. It was pointless even carrying on. It was just a habit of smoking the thing, but it was still nicotine nonetheless. And this illness has given me the ability just to not have it for 3 days, and I decided I'm just going to stop. And it's not been that bad. And I think it proved to me it was more mental by that point. Like there was nothing really in the mixture to be addicted to. I was just addicted to the habit. And I think I've finally got rid of that habit. I've binned everything. I have nothing now that's e-cigarette related. No batteries, no charger, no liquids, no vegetable glycerin, nothing at all. It's all gone. I have no access to anything like that, and I'm done finally, and that's it. I am finally clean of all narcotics. If you don't count caffeine, maybe that's the last thing I need to get rid of. I don't really drink. I very rarely drink alcohol, only for special occasions, and even then I don't overdo it. I don't drink nightly or anything at all. I don't really touch the stuff. So I think I've finally got there. And it's been tough. I've been going through some withdrawal moments. I think it's more my mind isn't used to not having the thing in my hand at certain points, the e-cig, and it's just confusing right now, and I'm having those chest moments where it's like I'm craving having something there, but it's not been as bad as I thought it would. So, here's to a bright future of being completely nicotine free and finally being free of addiction. It took 15 years. The damage is probably already done. That's true, but since I started to try and quit, it's taken me 7 years to finally get to this point. So that's something new with me. Maybe I'll make a video about addiction. I did in the past. For some reason, it got demonetized and flagged, and I had to take it down. I don't know why. I don't know what I did or said in that video to offend somebody so violently that it became red-lined by YouTube. But maybe I'll make a new video about giving up addictions, because I understand what it's like. I understand that many of us out there are demonized by that kind of thing and suffer under heavy addictions, and it's tough to get off, but it's not impossible. And the truth being, I could not have done it without him, without God, and without the help of Jesus. That is the thing that led me to quit. At the end of the day, and as I gained more responsibility, and as I was blessed with a family, that just gave me more reasons. And it's easy to make that choice. When you have that kind of responsibility, it's much easier. And I've always had this thing in my life where it seems like something terrible's happening, but then something really good always comes out of it. Um, no matter how bad things always seem to get, something better always ends up as a result, or something positive does turn out as a result. And I had this phrase, this even before I was a religious person in any way, or what we call a Christian. But I used to always have this phrase where I would fall ass backwards into a pot of gold every time. Everything would just work out, and I always believed and always said out loud, I don't know what's going on, but something is looking out for me. And I think it's true now more. Without having this new perspective, I do think I've been blessed. And I've been truly helped to get to where I am now. And I'm thankful. I'm truly thankful for my life. Again, it took a long way to get there. Anyway, back to the chat. I've got some things going on here. Rose Garcia, no clowns on your merch, please. They're creepy. That's what I thought. I think we'll leave the clowns off the merch. Can't have people talking about being set free from the vices. Yeah, exactly. Clearly, maybe this video is going to get flagged and demonetized and taken down. I don't know. We'll find out. I was addicted to heroin in the 80s. Quit and never did it again. Helped others get off drugs too. Brilliant. That's what we want to hear. Stories like that. Great job packing in the smokes. Fair play. Thanks, Johnny. Jason Hand, I feel the same. Brilliant. Encouraging and nice to hear. To Cats, yep. Well done, brother. Addictions are hard to get over no matter what the addiction is. That's true. I know it's not always a drug. There's plenty of other addictions out there. Gambling. I understand pornography is a big one for a lot of people as well. Food can be a big addiction for many people, and that's a huge killer. And I think a lot of people look over that one, food. But gluttony is a sin for a reason. It will kill you, at the end of the day. And I don't know if anyone's ever watched, My 600 Pound Life, but you find these people who get themselves in these situations are eating to suppress emotions from abuse. Usually, they were victims to begin with, and I think that's the case for most addiction. It's there to help hide the pain. And the sooner you understand that point of addiction, the less we can stigmatize those who are addicts and start to actually help them rather than condemn them. Yeah, I can't believe how much time, money, and health I've wasted on smoking. Yeah, I know about money I've spent on it as well, and health. It just seems pointless afterwards now. It's like, what was I thinking? And I feel like addiction is like the way it gets into your brain and rewires it is demonic. It's as demonic as it gets, really. That's huge. Congratulations, thank you. Always follow your gut feeling. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I did with the illness. My body was just like, do not touch that e-cig. You are in no fit state to inhale any chemicals right now. And I kept that disgust feeling when I was better, which is good. Throw all that junk away. Yeah, I put it in the bin today. My wife filmed me doing it, and she says, if you go back now, I'm going to divorce you. So that'll be a very short marriage if I go back now. But yeah, she's right, and I won't go back, of course. Nicotine free since September, says Call Me Pinhead. Congratulations to you. That's wonderful. Hard one battle, no smoking. Yep. I'll be praying for you, Kanga Kong. Brilliant, Rose Garcia. Yeah, if you guys didn't hear the message earlier, please send your prayers out to Kanga Kong. I haven't heard from her in a while, actually. I'm kind of worried about her. I know she's been going through some really bad health problems, like really bad. She's not in a good way, and she needs our support and prayers. So when you get to a quiet place and you get some time to yourself, to talk to him, just put in a good word for Kanga Kong and pray for her, please. Clock's an hour forward tonight too. Is that tonight? Do the clocks go forward tonight? Oh God. So I'm losing an hour's sleep. Oh, I hate when that happens. Who decided arbitrarily that we'll just change the time? let's just change it for an hour. You know, it really messes up our child's sleep, like because we have routines and it's a nightmare. I'm not looking forward to that now. Thanks for letting me know. Right, guys, I think I'm all caught up with the chat again. What's going on here? It keeps freezing on me. Seems like you guys have your own little conversation going on. Good stuff. That's what I like to see. Sundog's reflection on the firmament. We're still talking about alternative cosmologies there. The Lord Jesus healed me in the 80s from addiction. It's been 30 years now and I've been set free. Fantastic. The new now. Hi, Cat. Love to see the healing center. Amen, Rose. You certainly can. Perhaps we can have a chat on clowns and healing. Just did a new video in the clown's shadow, says the new now. I will look into that, the new now, and I'll have a listen and see what you've been saying there. You'll try to change times and seasons. Yep. It's actually the year 5916. I can believe that. Who knows? I don't know. I'm very open to this whole alternative timeline ideas and theories. It's very fascinating to me. I might make a video about it myself eventually, but right now I'm just watching. I just want to see what's going on and what people's final thoughts on it will be. Because every time a new theory comes out, there's always a huge back and forth about how to interpret it all. So we'll see. A podcast called Doozy just did an episode about a new mashup character, Robert De Niro. Looks like the crow with clown makeup and has the Bob reference. The podcast is controlled by an AI. Okay, just interesting. Thank you. I have no idea how much that means to me. I struggle reaching out, and I've always been one to pray for others, which is great. Really, it is. But I'm realizing I need prayer too. I'm sorry to hear that, Spring Rain. I don't know what you need prayer for. But I'll pray for you, and I hope others do too. Right, guys, we're coming up to the hour and a half now. I think I've gone on for long enough. My throat is very dry. I have a tiny drop of water here, which I'll drink out of my custom Understanding Conspiracy mug available on Teespring. That's refreshing. And I think I will leave it there. Okay, guys, so thanks for listening. As always, if you do want to support the channel, links are down below for my Patreon. Thank you to all my patrons for your support. I really do appreciate it. Again, links to Armour Up's channel. Subscribe to him if you haven't already. I will be on his show in a week's time when we can figure out a time. Armour Up, if you want to send me a message on the Google Hangouts or whatever the app was, I can communicate on there with you. We'll have a talk. See if we can arrange that. Yeah, so subscribe to Armour Up. Please pray for Kanga Kong and Spring Rain. If you get the chance tonight, guys, when you have a quiet moment. Thanks for being here. I hope you like the presentation. And yeah, as always, guys, God bless.